But before we do that, Kellie, dipping into the pop culture space real quick. And I know you have stories about all the Chris's. Maybe we'll have a Chris Evans story at one point. But let's really talk about what is going on with Chris Pine, Harry Styles.
Let me just say, if
And I don't know
anybody
what's going on.
if anybody was on our TikTok today, Chris Pine is such a mood from this "Don't Worry, Darling" press conference and viewing at the Venice Film Festival. So the film premiered. The film premiered on Monday at the Venice Film Festival, and just since the film's inception, there's been so much drama surrounding it, from casting stuff to Olivia Wilde's personal stuff, and now there's apparently supposedly a feud between her and the lead actress. And while they were on the red carpet, they kept their distance from each other. You didn't see them interact. There were no photos of them together. But the biggest thing to hit the internet right now is this video of Harry Styles going to sit down next to Chris Pine, and everybody thought he spat on him, which to me is like so silly. I can't imagine like Chris Pine just sitting there laughing about it and not having any kind of like wipe my face reaction or like what the fuck reaction or like anything. So that seemed a little silly. But as a publicist, having to make a statement on something that ridiculous is like the least favorite part of my job when I was doing it. So Chris Pine's publicist came out and was like, "This is stupid. Nobody spit on that. Nobody spit on Chris. Like, they're friends. It's fine. Anything else, they have a high respect for each other," whatever the statement like actually was. But it's just so silly. But now the funniest part of it is there's so many videos and memes that are like, here's Harry Styles throwing a goat on Chris Pine and like all of this like silly stuff. But I feel like it's taken away from what this movie is.
Yeah.
And the premise of it, and the fact that Olivia Wilde is a fantastic director, and it's just kind of gotten so muddied. Like, I hope it really doesn't deter people from actually going to see it, because I mean, it did get pretty good reviews and it had a standing ovation at the end of it. And Florence, the lead actress, is apparently amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. The concept is really cool, but just to have that much drama surrounding it from the get-go, especially being at the helm of a woman director, like, I hope it just doesn't
Overshadow.
kind of like foreshadow that, or kind of like get in the way of it.
It is disappointing because I think, like, when you were a publicist, I mean, I feel like it's changing year by year. I think I was telling you this recently. When I looked at my radio career and like when it did not go, I was like, oh, what are the careers to go into next? I know a lot of people want to move into real estate. I did say at one time, oh, I would like to maybe get into publicity. But it feels like the olden days of it felt very curated, like a cachet of where you wanted your talent to be ushered into this type of world. And then as it changed, like all of a sudden it felt like it was just spamming. And that is no disrespect to the publicist, but like the way the goal was to have an asinine story like this go on go viral. And now to clear it up is like the publicist's job. Like, nowhere in publicity school was this supposed to be the job. The job was supposed to be, we're going to get our talent out there and we're going to maximize the exposure. But now exposure is just dumb stuff. So on one hand, I could see what you're saying, that it is just humorous and funny because it like makes for really good memes, I guess. But at the other, yeah, if you've got Olivia Wilde not getting her due in terms of her work and even the story of this, I don't know. Memes don't make me laugh like everyone else, I don't think. I don't know if that makes me sound uptight, but they're just not that effing funny. I've never watched a cat video in my life that I enjoyed. I've never done a boomerang. I might have done one because somebody needed me to do one, but like my own, like, let's do a boomerang. Never fun for me. Am I bringing down the energy, Kellie?
No, I mean, the thing about it is the media realm and the scope of media and just the industry within itself has changed so much. I mean, I was a publicist for 15 years. So just in the space in general, it's evolved and changed so much that traditional publicity just doesn't exist anymore. Like, everything is so
even if you're at the
convoluted and
even if you're at the highest of levels.
I mean, not really, because I mean, yeah, you still have, but the publications are very limited now. I mean, it used to be that the goal was, getting a Wall Street Journal spread or something in the New York Times, or, if you're in, fashion or high level entertainment, it was, the fashion magazines and,
And
the
now
GQs of the world and
the fashion
like all of
magazines
that.
now aren't being filled with like people who do fashion. They're like with the TikTok star. Like it's all been
It's
so
just so very
messy.
different. It's
Yeah.
very different, and it's also very ad driven and ad based, and
Is
there's
that
so
why you
much paid
left?
things and uh sort of. I just kind of got bored, and I've never personally done straight traditional PR anyway. I always found other creative ways to do things. So, like, creating like, virtual reality stuff, or, different stories and ways of storytelling. That was always my favorite part of it. Because the greatest thing about publicity would be it's not ads, so you're not paying for it. You're basically creating a story and telling and trying to convince a writer that your client or the subject of your story is cool because you say so. So it's creative writing, and that's what I loved so much about it. But now it's just so different because it's more based on popularity and what's kind of going on in the sphere, the space, and it's not a bad thing. It's just different, and
Mm,
it's just done in such a different way now.
yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe Chris Pine does have a feud with Harry. Maybe the
I
actress
mean, maybe he
hates
did spit on him in
Olivia.
there.
Maybe the person who initially got this to be a Twitter viral moment, like there was no way he spit on him. The reason you
I
could tell
mean,
that from the video I
I
saw, the only reason you know it wasn't true was because if you were to have like done that, your reaction, the way Harry looked at him, would not have been like that. Granted, Chris Pine does look like this weird, like something happened to him moment, which that's unexplainable, or maybe he
Well,
just doesn't.
somebody actually did explain it. So there was a tweet somewhere that I wish I would have pulled, but I lost it. That someone
Look
that
at
was
your big
apparently
80s hair.
there. Oh yeah, it's very humid in Texas today
Pour
because
some
it's been
sugar
raining.
on me. Let's go.
So it keeps it's like super. I always have bad hair days. Sorry guys, it's like always frizzy and it's being ridiculous right now, and I'm looking at it and it's making me nervous. Anyway, but there was a tweet where someone was there and said, "Here's yeah, exactly." Said, "Here's what happened." That you could tell Chris has been kind of like zoning out in so
Mhm.
many of the interviews because nobody was really paying attention to him because the hot topics were the feuds all going around. So everybody was worried about
And that
the
would piss
Shia
an
LaBeouf
actor off.
stuff and
Yeah.
the Florence stuff and the Harry Styles. So nobody was really kind of asking him too many questions. So he kept kind of zoning out. So in this particular instance where this spit video is, someone had pointed out and she said, it looks like he forgot where he put his sunglasses. And then he looked down and realized they're in his lap and started laughing. And then he picked them up. And if you rewatch the video with that in your head, that totally tracks. It makes sense. That could have happened.
Yeah.
When you're kind of looking around like, where's my phone? And it's like in your hand kind of a deal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Kind of like that.
I don't know about
who knows? Maybe he did get spit on and didn't care, and it's just like fuck you all.
No,
Like,
there's
I
no
don't know.
the way Harry looked at him like, hello, hey, like, hey, buddy, like, you're, hey, dude, even if they aren't cool or whatever the case,
Yeah.
like, you would have not, your reaction would have been different had you thrown a quick spit, sat down, and you
Right.
turned. You wouldn't be like more like, hey, you would, you know what I mean? That wouldn't
It
exist.
kind of would have been like, there's
The-
water coming at you, so kind of there would have
Yeah.
been some sort of I don't know.
That
It's
and when's
just
the last
silly.
time we were supposed to trust Twitter? You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
mean,
these, who are these mongrels? Who are these mongrels that make things out of nothing? You know who's getting it really bad? You know who's getting it really bad
We
is
are.
the real. I am not in that crowd. Thank you very much. As I said, I'm in a higher cachet. I want to be on the cover of Vogue, not on, oh God. Okay. Well, I don't know who the mongrels are. I guess it makes it fun to a degree. Kellie seems to find it when it comes to TikTok, and then she does a fun TikTok, which, as I stated earlier, we now have one. So if you do want to go look at it,
I just love all of the memes with all of his different facial expressions because it's just a total mood of what am I doing? Get me the F out of here. And I feel that. And I love that about him because to me, honestly, like I feel like Chris Pine, he just kind of exudes like a movie star quality about him.
Yeah.
I've seen him out in public. In real life, he has like this energy where he's just, he kind of has that little swagger about him. And he's sitting here with all this, listening to all these bullshit questions that have nothing to do with the work that has just been done. And, all of that they put into this film. And he's just over it. He's just like,
Well,
I mean, he has a flip phone. He doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff.
my question to the room, and I'll answer first. It's like, is the actor in that level, not level like because he's a big star, but is the actor who cares about the craft only, are they allowed to be mad that these dumbass fake reporters, because that's what it is, like, you know, a fake reporter will now get a better shot to get an interview than maybe me, who's been in radio for 20 years, because of the way social media plays. So is it okay for the actor to be like a little upset that like, you're kind of effing wasting my time, or does that make the actor look a little bit bougie?
It makes him, I think people will take it as he thinks he's, you know, he's either not engaged. I mean, he's not engaged or he's over it or whatever. But if I spent months and months and months on something and was really proud of the work that was done, and all anybody can talk about is some bullshit, it would be
Agreed.
frustrating.
Yeah.
So, and just the kind of person that I am, I know you would see that frustration straight on my face.
And
like,
the
it's very hard to hide that. So honestly, I think he was doing a pretty good job, and you can tell how professional he is to kind of sit there stoic, because just even with some of the answers that Harry Styles was given on this, I would have been like, are you kidding me right now?
And
I
not
love Harry. Harry used to come to our office and like hang out. He was friends with my boss. Like, I love him.
Oh, good.
But it's just like, he needs a little bit more media training, I think. And just like being, you know, dating Olivia Styles isn't going to give you that. I think he needs to take it a little bit more serious to have a little
Are
bit
they married already?
they're
Olivia Styles?
They're dating. They're not
married.
married.
No, you called her Olivia Styles.
Oh, I called her Olivia Styles. I did. I'm sorry, Olivia Wilde.
Exclusive. See, another podcaster would take that and run with it, right? Kellie said.
No, sorry. That's
an alleged source said.
That was just a Freudian slip. Maybe they are going to get married sometime.
Maybe they are. But I totally.
Know. They're adorable. Like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that should not have anything to do with anything. But, you know, we always gotta, we as, you know, the public always have to make something out of nothing, because that's what makes it fun.
And I don't think it needs to be polarizing. This is where I come in, because I'm perfect in every way. It doesn't need to be. Yes, let's go Virgos. It's our time, baby. I don't think it needs to be completely on this side or completely on that side. And what I mean by that is complete dumbass. Not that you do good TikToks, of course, because Kellie is brilliant, but the dumb ones, you know, the stupid ones. But then I don't also think it needs to be, what was it, James Limpton, inside the actor's studio, which I also thought was very, very good. Like, why can't somebody have the duality to give a good interview, make Chris Pine laugh like crazy? Why does it got to be resorted into like, hey, Chris Pine, we're going to play Heads Up, 7-Up. It's kind of like, you know, referring to the show that we always watch, Hulu's Difficult People, where Julie had said in the show, you know, Johnny Carson would be rolling in his grave seeing what Jimmy Fallon is playing Pin the Tail on the Donkey on the Tonight Show. I am not the actor, but I would probably be like Chris Pine. I'd be like, kiss my ass. I went here. I did all this work to create a great film. I don't need you to grovel over it. But at the same time, now I got to just like sit here and talk about.
But that's the thing. Nobody was really even asking him any questions.
That alone is a problem. That alone is a little bit of a problem.
Right.
And I know the way the media landscape does it, because they got to get the.
Yeah, he's also not the lead in it. But I mean, still, it's a great cast. There are so many great actors and actresses in this movie. To you know, kind of like dwindle it down to just this kind of, you know, tabloid fodder. It's just unfortunate for the art. And I'm such a huge film fan. Like, I went to film school. I love everything about movies and making movies and all of that. Like, it just kind of like hurts my heart about it, that it just kind of gets diminished down to that shit.
Well, it hurts my heart.
You know, I just don't like it.
It hurts my heart because it's not like whatever the press event it was. This was at a film festival. You expect a little more grown up, you know, energy in terms of who's doing the interviews.
Because the media coming in there, like the grown up type media just is very few and far between these days. Now it's, you know, the blogs and the sites and everybody that just wants that clickbait and those sound bites, and that's what they're looking for, and that's what they're hoping to get, because that's the goal. And that's the part that makes me sad.
Makes me sick, yeah.
It should be weeded out for this particular event. Like, I get it. That's what our society is. That's what's making money. That's what's doing. And you kind of need that also to get, the average person who might not be as invested in film to go see your movie and to be interested with all these different things. I understand the need for all of these different things, but why can't we section them out? Like, you're going to have like a specific, this is the film premiere. This is about the film. Let's keep the questions about it versus, the other shit.
Like if it's the MTV Movie Awards, have at it. But like
Totally.
have respect for the space. And that's the thing. It just is like, by me saying going against it, I don't want anyone to think like I actually don't get it. Like, because sometimes I say stuff and they're like, well, Ronnie, you don't understand. If you get a viral video, that will help your whole, your whole platform. Bitch, I know the shit. I'm talking about how stupid that is, because back in the day, we've also had that. It's just at a more maximized level. Like, we've never had this in our coming up era. We had people saying, we'd have people getting the big salacious bit of information, but that was after you sat down with the talent, talked about the film, talked about the actor's process, and still made it fun. Still, don't think I'm saying it's boring. And then you, by being a great interviewer, you kind of scooped in on some like, well, you didn't say, well, who are you having sex with? But you found a way. And that was what made you really good at the craft. But now they're going straight forward and they're taking this viral moment and they're like saying, F the reason I'm even sitting here. And that just makes the people who respect, like you say, film, it makes them, it ruins, if I was an actor, would I want to do press anymore? Not really.
Yeah, and that's why so many don't. That's why so many really don't want to do it. And I totally get it.
I'm just saying, I understand the 1-2 punch of why people are so obsessed with viral moments. I'm just saying, let's have a little bit of passion within the industry that you're actually reporting on or feeding off of. You're feeding from it.
Figure out a way to balance it out. And if you're a good journalist, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, really, that's it.
Kellie knows.
That's all you got to do. But
anything
you're right.
else?
If everybody kind of paid more attention, and that's the problem, right? Which is what I just did to you. We're talking over each other. So sorry about that. But that's kind of
I've done it many a times.
But that's kind of what we're doing, is we're not taking a minute to slow down, look at what we're doing, do the work. Doing the work is kind of getting overstepped by just trying to be fast. And I think that's a little unfortunate, but I get it. I mean,
and I don't want to go on a tangent because we do have other stuff to talk about, but it's the difference between making a song that's going to really do well today, whatever era we're in, or making a classic. So that's just all we're talking about. We're talking about if you want to be a viral, I'm going to ask the silly question and it's going to go viral. I mean, is that staying power? And what are you really bringing to the table? But let's not judge them. It was a memeable moment. Chris Pine, he's got stuff to say now.
I mean, I love everything everybody's doing with his like stoic face. It's total mood.
And he comes from an actor family too. I believe his father was an actor. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
So interesting. We're gonna move into our show with a lot more interviews and stuff like that. I do want to show that in our past episodes we had Julie Klausner, who was the creator of Hulu's Difficult People, on as an interview, and also Shakina Nifak. I believe I said that correctly. Who played Lola on the show. So we're gonna have more interviews. And you know what, Kellie? Because we're so amazing, we might just have Chris Pine on our show, because he'll be like, I like the way they roll. I like the way they roll. And then if he does come on, we could do a viral moment with him, and we could be like, gotcha.
Maybe I'll throw a goat at him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this Virgo season.